One sentence, just one sentence, was all it took to end a journalist's career. A respected TV host, known for his sharp debates, found himself in the middle of a firestorm, cancelled, humiliated, and forced into silence. But was it justice or cancel culture going too far? Stay tuned as we dive into the shocking moment that changed everything. The NBS News studio buzzed with anticipation. The lights were bright, the cameras were rolling, and the audience was on the edge of their seats. Paul Danning, a seasoned journalist with over 2 decades of experience, sat confidently at the anchor desk. Known for his tough questions and no-nonsense demeanor, Paul had built a reputation as a fearless interviewer. Tonight, his guest was Karoline Leavitt, a rising conservative commentator who had been making waves with her critiques of mainstream media bias. The topic of the debate was one of the most contentious issues of the moment: media bias and trust in journalism. Karoline, calm and composed, argued that mainstream news outlets often manipulated narratives to fit their own agendas. "The public deserves transparency," she said, her voice steady. "But too often, we see stories framed in ways that serve political or corporate interests rather than the truth." Paul leaned forward, his trademark smirk playing on his lips. He was ready to challenge her, to push back with the sharp wit that had made him a household name. But then, he crossed a line. "Your people are the ones spreading misinformation," Paul snapped, his voice dripping with disdain. The words hung in the air like a thunderclap. The studio fell silent. Karoline blinked, her composure unshaken, but her eyes narrowed slightly. "My people," she repeated, her tone measured but firm. "Are you saying conservatives don't deserve a voice in the media?" The audience gasped. The tension was palpable. Paul hesitated, realizing too late the weight of his words. He tried to backtrack, but the damage was done. The moment was already being clipped, shared, and dissected across social media. Within minutes, #cancel Paul Danning was trending worldwide. The backlash was swift and merciless. Viewers accused Paul of blatant bias, calling his remark disrespectful and dismissive. Memes flooded the internet, with users mocking his elitist attitude. One viral tweet read, "Paul Danning just proved Karoline's point about media bias. Bravo, sir, bravo." Karoline, meanwhile, became an overnight sensation. Her calm demeanor and quick wit were praised, and her followers skyrocketed. "She handled that like a queen," one fan tweeted. "Paul Danning just handed her the W of the century." Paul attempted to clarify his comments, releasing a statement claiming his words were taken out of context. "I was referring to specific individuals who have been proven to spread false information, not an entire group of people," he wrote. But the explanation fell flat. The public had already made up its mind. The pressure on NBS News was immense. Sponsors began pulling their ads, and the network's social media was flooded with demands for Paul's removal. Within 48 hours, the network made a shocking announcement. Paul Danning was officially terminated from NBS News. The fallout from the incident sparked a heated debate about accountability and cancel culture. Some argued that Paul had simply made a slip of the tongue and that losing his career over one phrase was excessive. "We all make mistakes," one commentator wrote. "Should one moment define an entire career?" Others, however, insisted that Paul's comment revealed his true colors. "This wasn't just a slip of the tongue," a critic argued. "It was a glimpse into the bias that has been festering in mainstream media for years. He got exactly what he deserved." Paul retreated from the public eye, his once prominent career in shambles. Friends and colleagues described him as devastated and shell-shocked. Meanwhile, Karoline Leavitt's star continued to rise. She was invited to speak at conferences, appeared on numerous talk shows, and even landed a book deal. The incident also reignited the debate about cancel culture. Was this a necessary moment of accountability, or had the public gone too far? Opinions were divided, and the conversation showed no signs of slowing down. The Paul Danning incident became a case study in the ongoing debate about cancel culture. Experts weighed in, offering perspectives from both sides. Dr. Emily Carter, a sociologist specializing in media studies, argued that cancel culture serves as a necessary check on power. When public figures make harmful or biased statements, they need to be held accountable, she said. Cancel culture, at its core, is about demanding transparency and fairness. However, Dr. Michael Reynolds, a psychologist, cautioned against the potential dangers of mob mentality. While accountability is important, we must also consider the human cost, he said. One mistake can lead to disproportionate consequences, leaving individuals with no path to redemption. The conversation extended beyond Paul Danning, touching on broader issues of media bias, political polarization, and the role of social media in shaping public opinion. Months after the incident, Paul Danning resurfaced, albeit in a much quieter capacity. He began writing op-eds for smaller publications, reflecting on his experience and the lessons he had learned. In one piece he wrote, "I made a mistake and I paid a heavy price, but I believe in growth and redemption. I hope to earn back the trust I lost." Some readers praised his humility, while others remained skeptical. "Actions speak louder than words," one commenter wrote. "We'll see if he's truly changed." Meanwhile, Karoline Leavitt continued to thrive, using her platform to advocate for media reform and greater diversity of thought in journalism. The Paul Danning incident was not an isolated case. It was part of a larger trend of public figures facing severe consequences for controversial statements. From comedians to politicians, the debate over cancel culture continued to dominate headlines. Comedian Sarah Thompson, who had faced backlash for a joke deemed offensive, shared her perspective. "It's a fine line between accountability and censorship," she said. "We need to have conversations about what's acceptable, but we also need to allow room for growth and understanding." Politician James Carter, who had been criticized for a decades-old tweet, echoed similar sentiments. "We all have moments we regret," he said. "The question is, how do we move forward as a society? Do we cancel or do we educate?" The incident also sparked a broader conversation about the future of journalism. With trust in media at an all-time low, many questioned how the industry could rebuild its credibility. Veteran journalist Linda Harris emphasized the importance of transparency. "We need to be honest about our biases and work to present balanced perspectives," she said. "The public deserves nothing less." Young journalist Mark Davis, however, argued for a more radical approach. "The old models are broken," he said. "We need to rethink how we deliver news and engage with our audience." In a rare interview, Paul Danning opened up about the personal toll of the incident. "It's been a humbling experience," he admitted. "I've had to confront my own biases and reevaluate my approach to journalism." He also spoke about the support he received from unexpected places. "I've had people reach out to me, sharing their own stories of redemption," he said. "It's given me hope that change is possible." Social media played a pivotal role in amplifying the Paul Danning incident. Dr. Sarah Mitchell, a digital communication expert, explained, "Platforms like Twitter and Instagram have given a voice to the public, but they've also created an environment where outrage can spread like wildfire." She added, "The speed at which information travels today means that public figures are under constant scrutiny. One misstep can lead to a global backlash in a matter of minutes." The psychological impact of public shaming cannot be underestimated. Dr. Rachel Green, a clinical psychologist, highlighted the long-term effects. "Being publicly shamed can lead to anxiety, depression, and even PTSD," she said. "It's crucial that we consider the human cost of these online mobs." Paul Danning himself admitted to struggling with his mental health in the aftermath. "There were days when I didn't want to get out of bed," he confessed. "The constant criticism and ridicule took a toll on me." As the debate over cancel culture rages on, many are calling for a more nuanced approach. Author and activist Maya Johnson argued, "We need to find a balance between accountability and compassion. Cancel culture can be a tool for justice, but it shouldn't be a weapon of destruction." Others, like entrepreneur and philanthropist David Lee, emphasized the importance of forgiveness. "We are all human," he said. "We need to create a culture that allows for mistakes and encourages growth." What do you think? Was Paul Danning rightfully fired, or was this another example of cancel culture running wild? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the moments that shape our world.